Welcome to the 828 podcast, where we will be interviewing some incredible men in the areas of business, fashion, the arts, and sports. And we will find out how the phrase, all things work together for good, drives into their purpose and their lifestyle. Join us as we discover what's their 828. Hey, we're here in the amazing clubhouse provided by Lincoln Co., which is today's sponsor of the location of this video. So why don't you come and join me as we go into the meeting room and interview our first guest. Cool. So I'm here with my guest, DJ, founder of The Creation. And DJ, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you've been doing, about what The Creation is, how the dream began, your father, if you can tell us about parenting. And the main idea behind what we're doing is how does the phrase, all things work for good, tie in into what you're doing?
Awesome. First of all, thank you. Thank you for letting me be on this platform. So who am I? So as you mentioned, I'm DJ. I am the founder together with my wife of The Creation. What is a dancers agency that provides dancers in Spain and outside of Spain for commercials, events, movies, and anything that need dancers. So yeah, that's basically the whole premise of the company, and it's been a journey for sure. Yeah, but I like it so far.
Tell us about the journey, because before we began the episode, I was thinking about the first time that we met is about 6 years ago, and we were in a coffee shop sitting kind of like this,
Yeah.
right in front of each other. And I remember you showing the first sketch of the first design of what The Creation was going to be.
Yeah.
And it was just a dream on paper. And now 6 years on, you've done amazing things. You've worked with amazing companies. Tell us about the whole journey, what the last 6 years have been,
Yeah.
and doing business in another country, which is not your own, in another language. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, I think the journey even starts like 14 or 15 years ago.
Wow.
Me and my wife are both dancers. We started both giving classes, we choreographed, we did our stuff. So it's our passion.
Yeah.
So obviously as partners, you're going to talk like, what are we going to do in the future, with dancing? The obvious next step would be a dance school.
Yeah.
Because, we're a couple, we can start a business, have a dance school, but we didn't really feel that passion for a dance school. So we made some ideas, like, are we going to start a school, but for like a diploma, like a whole education system? And then things just evolved, but we gave it time. We didn't pressure anything. We just like put the idea there and let's see how it evolves over time. We don't have any rush.
Yeah.
Right? So when we started traveling the world, in 2017, going into 2018, we just looked at a lot of businesses. We've seen almost every country in the world that we wanted to see at that time. And that inspired us to start The Creation as it is. So the sketches you've seen started, like, I would say 2019-ish.
Wow.
And then in 2019, we decided to really go for it. So it needed some time because as we all know, 2019, 20, and 21 had something, but yeah, it started there, and then the journey just started, and it's more like just taking that dive in and see how it goes, and you'll learn along the way.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing behind it. And
so why The Creation? What does The Creation mean? And what's the vision behind The Creation? Because you mentioned you're a dancer yourself.
Yeah.
And what would you say to people that don't know about The Creation? What does it mean, and what's the whole drive behind it? Why you're doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so our idea, it mainly started with the fact that me and my wife were both dancers. we've been in the industry and we were seeing how dancers were being used in the industry. Some did very well, but some were kind of like working very hard and didn't get anything in return. Maybe in a financial aspect, but also in just the way that people treated them.
Yeah.
So our idea was to change that within the industry, to give dancers a spot where they can dance safely, that they are appreciated of the work and the days and hours that they put in order to be a better dancer. I don't think people know how many hours dancers put in to become the dancers that they are. And the amount of rejection that dancers are getting, because that's a lot. And it doesn't have to do anything with your dancing. It can be just the look of your face.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to change that a bit to give the dancers the feeling that they are being seen and that we can change that for them. And we will probably not be the company that have the whole solution there, but we definitely want to be a part of that that process for them. And then if the future companies can take over and take care of all the dancers that are training right now, that would be amazing. And the idea of the name, the creation, is that, of course, dancers create. And it all starts with an idea, a spark, a creation, right? Especially from a belief standpoint, everything started with creation. And that's how we want to see it as well. We want to be the start of something, of a project, of a conversation, of a solution that we can provide. So we want to be that start. And as you see on our logo as well, it's the two hands that are connected, the painting of Michelangelo. And the hands going together was also an idea of, we understand the vision of the dancer, we understand the vision of the client, and we want to bring those parties together and let them understand each other's language. And that's our part. That's actually our work.
That's very good. I love how you speak about bringing value into the dancers, because sometimes I think people get neglected and people can feel used. What are some of the challenges that you faced as a dancer, as now building the company, but also as working in a country that's not your own, and a language that isn't your own? What's that been like for you? What's the journey been like?
Man, the journey is pretty rough. I would say that 99% of all entrepreneurs would say their journey is rough. So I'm not alone in it. But it's rough, especially being in a country that you don't know how the whole system works, the financials, the taxes, and everything is new. So you just kind of go in and learn along the way. But I think the lesson you learn the most is how to cope with those challenges and all the struggles you get. So a lot of stuff happened mostly on financial, in the financial area that hit us hard. And we were just trying to see, like, okay, the situation is as it is. There's nothing we can do about it. Let's solve this. Let's learn from it and let's continue. But it's very easy to go in the other mindset of, this is not meant to be. This is a clear view of, it doesn't work, let's just quit and let's continue on something else. And we truly believe that that's not the way to continue. We believe that challenges are being given as an opportunity to grow from.
That's awesome.
But also, like, I see it as, the challenge comes and how you cope with it, it creates a piece of armor. And one moment you get a piece of armor on your left shoulder, on your right shoulder. And then when the next challenges come that want to hit those shoulders, you're ready for it. There's nothing that can attack those points anymore, because you're prepared. And it's just a challenge. Bring it on. So yeah, of course, there will be a lot more challenges that I'm not ready for yet. The good thing is, I know what the next step will be, and that's to prepare myself, to armor myself for the future.
That's also, What is it like being a parent? Because I met you when you were about to have your first baby, and it was probably like 3 months before your first son was born. Now you're the father of 3. And how does your perspective change from being single to being married to now caring for 1 child, now caring for 3, and still thinking, well, I've got to make this work. And sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes money isn't coming in or clients aren't responding, what am I going to do? How is that? How do you juggle all those hats per se?
Exactly. And having 3 kids.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's very easy to complain. It's very easy because every parent knows, and if parents are listening to this, they will probably agree. But it's very tiring to do so. But for me, it's the biggest blessing.
Wow.
It's the biggest blessing. It's just because apart from the love that I have for my children and the love that I have for my wife, it's the whole reason why I can keep going in my work, because they are my fuel for everything. Like, there's no moment in me that gives up, because I know I want to put food in their mouths. I want to give them the life they deserve, and I will do everything. I feel that's my mission.
Wow.
So some days are like, oh, I can't anymore. I come home, I look in those eyes, and everything is forgotten. I don't even know why I was complaining. It's because the kids' eyes are just such a joy to look into. I don't know. It's we're in Barcelona. You go to the beach, you look into the ocean, you will forget everything else. Kids' eyes have the same thing. They have something to look into, and you kind of just forget everything, and it just gives you a smile. For me, that's the most beautiful thing in my life.
I love that.
And yeah, I know that they're just almost 5, 3, and going to 1, but I'm happy that for the next years to go, connected with the work I'm doing, they will give me that motivation without realizing they are doing that. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So as you know, 8:28
Yeah.
stands on a Bible verse. It's in Romans 8:28. That's what we're called, 8:28. And in that verse, it says, we know that all things work together for good for those who are called by God and called according to his purposes.
Yeah.
How does faith tie in to who you are? And what's your faith journey been throughout all this process? And how does the phrase, all things work together for good, act as a reality in every aspect of your life?
It's a very big part. For me, the journey that started with creating the company kind of aligns with the moment that I decided to follow Christ. I think in the years that we are currently living in, it's a hard thing to connect business-wise,
Yeah.
especially because it's a quite sensitive issues for a lot of people. But I don't believe in the fact to just change your whole mindset of your company just to please other people. You stand for what you stand for. Other people will stand for what they stand for. And I think that creates a true identity behind your brand. So all things work for good helps me with what I was also saying previously. The challenges are coming. Fine. I will use those challenges in order to continue and grow. So it's not always about like, oh yeah, all things that are benefiting me financially are working for good.
Yes.
If that was a text, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But it's also knowing that all things are working for good. So if the bad things are working for good as well, how easy can life be if you have that mindset, right? So we definitely had our things, and that text, all things work for good. And also I think in Philippians, they are also mentioning all things work through Christ who strengthens me, right? So it gives that extra motivational boost as long as you do it from a perspective that if things don't go your way, it can still be his way.
Yeah.
And so listen, that's what motivates me, because if you don't have to carry it anymore, and entrepreneurship, man, you have the feeling you need to carry the whole world and everything around you. And with our agency, sometimes we're responsible for 3 dancers. But last year, we were responsible for 80+ dancers. In just 1 month. Everybody has questions. And I feel responsible for those people because they're human and I care about them, So you want to do everything for them at that moment. But if you need to carry that by yourself, I'm not sure how you can. Maybe some people can, but there will be definitely some physical issues there. And I think in this time of life where we hear so many people struggling with burnouts, with depression and everything, is because you carry it on your own.
Exactly.
Don't carry it, just let it go. Everything is created. continue with your journey.
Exactly.
Learn from it.
That's very good.
And as long as you have a community around you that can support you and be like, hey, keep looking up, don't look down, and that's the best.
And I love that you're mentioning that, because I think, obviously, I know you, but not everybody that's listening to us or watching us knows about your faith journey.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk to us a little bit about your faith journey? Because I think it's really cool that we're able to talk about business, but we're also able to talk about faith, which for us is something that's really important.
Yeah.
Have you always had this mindset, or has it changed along the years? How has it changed along the years to get you to this point where you literally live this mindset of all things work for good?
Yeah. I would say the mindset of not saying it, but actually living it is very new. I would say that started last year.
Yeah.
Because I went through like a little bit of depression, I would say, 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
And it's just because I didn't know how to release all that tension and all that responsibility. I just didn't know where to find it. And then I found out that it's more about building that relationship. Once you know somebody, you know how to give it.
Yeah.
Because it's just the feeling you get. And maybe it sounds a little bit like in the air, but I wasn't a Christian until 2017. So it's easy to say for somebody that maybe know or knew Christ since day one in their life, but I didn't knew Christ until 2017. So I needed to build that relationship, and everything was new. As some people were telling me stories, and I'm like, how do you experience that? I have no idea. Tell me, give me the secret.
Yeah.
But at one point, if you're really open for it, you will feel it. It's just a feeling. And some people maybe feel it differently, but for me, it's kind of like some sort of energy that I experience, that everything is okay.
Yeah.
You can be very tensed in your body without knowing why you are tense, just because of everything happening. But you can be in a very hectic situation, but still feel calm.
Yeah.
Explain it. So, this last December and January were very hectic periods for me, but there was not a moment that I was stressed, and I couldn't explain it myself. And then from my belief system, I would say, I would ask God, where are you? I need you now. And that was the first moment in my relationship since 2017 that God said, you don't have to search for me. I'm already here.
Wow. That's awesome.
And I got chills thinking about that, because normally you're like, you're so big. Where are you? I need you now. And then he said, I'm already here. Don't worry. I'm here. Relax. And then I knew I could just continue in my journey, even though the waves were there. So yeah, it's a magical journey since 2017. And I'm happy that relationship grows. And I truly believe that if I can further analyze this and enjoy it, I can be maybe that spark for other people as well, if they want to. And for some people were that spark for me. So it feels weird to just keep it for myself because it benefits me.
Yeah.
Why don't you want to share it? Not only from my belief system, but also the knowledge you have from a company and the love you experience for people. Why would you like
yourself?
Yeah, why? At the end you're gone, so you want to give it to the next generations, right? So yeah, that's definitely a pinpoint for my journey within my.
Yeah. I love that, man. And last thing I want to ask you, what's next for the creation?
Yeah. Well, currently we are restructuring everything in a way that we can provide a better service, because we know where we want to go. We know we will grow way more, but it's about the whole foundation, because you can grow.
Yeah.
But if the foundation is not there, that pillar will fall. Like everybody knows Jenga. If your base is not going, you can make a very large tower, but it will crumble for sure. So we're working on those foundations so it can be a very healthy company. And then eventually my dream, and it's very nice to have this on a podcast because I want to listen to this back in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
My dream is to create a platform where dancers can feel safe, where they have enough work to do that they feel appreciate it and have joy in the job they are doing the most. But I also want to create a center where those dancers can train, where they can work out, where they can learn from the whole industry. So it's not only using you as a profile, but actually investing in that profile in order to give better quality, right? So I think that also aligns with your work. You know, it's very easy to order a couple of thousands of shirts and reselling them very fast, but it's about what identity is in that brand, what quality is in that brand, because that's actually what you're delivering. And this is what I want to stand for. So we're going for that goal. And it's not if it will happen, it's when it will happen.
Exactly. I love that. I love your mindset. You're just like, let's go get it. Let's go work hard. And literally, all things will work for good.
All things will work for good.
Man, thank you so much for joining us in this episode. And if there's anybody watching that has something useful from what we've shared, what we've spoken about, hit the click and subscribe button, share it with somebody, and hey, hopefully we'll get to invite you in another episode.
Let's do it. 5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years. Thanks.